to talk about exam patterns and the syllabus, etc. So over to Madhukar sir.
Hello everyone. Okay, am I audible? Hello?
Yes,
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 Am
sir.
I audible? Okay. Okay, so what are the competitive exams you can give after MSc? So they are NET, SET, GATE, JEST and TIFR. Okay. I have qualified all these exams except JEST because JEST was not so prevalent in our times. Okay. I have qualified all the other exams. So let us see the syllabus and paper pattern of all these exams. Okay. We'll start with the first. So NET exam, you know it is required for fellowship, okay, and the fellowship stipend that you are getting these days is around 35,000 per month. Obviously, there is an interview afterwards, and also for lecturership, you can join as a college lecturer or a university lecturer, okay, and the starting salary is around 50,000 plus per month, okay. But obviously, there are interviews for this, and then you get selected for the job or the fellowship. Okay. Now, what is the NET exam? It is now a computer-based test. It's a totally online exam. The NTA, that is National Testing Agency, is given the responsibility for conducting this online exam. So you can have sample mock test available on this particular exam on this particular website. Now the NET exam has total 200 marks and the duration, that is the hours required for completing it, is 3 hours. So you will get 3 hours to complete the exam. And all questions are MCQs, multiple choice questions, and only one option will be correct. Okay. So there are not 2 options, or so 4 options will be given and only one will be the correct answer. Now there is a 25% negative marking for the wrong answers. So 1/4 weightage of your mark is deducted. Question paper is divided into 3 parts. I'll explain these 3 parts. Okay. So part A is actually your mathematical and logical reasoning. You have a choice. You are given 20 questions. Okay. And you have to attempt any 15 questions out of the 20 questions. And each question will carry 2 marks. So total 30 marks is the weightage for this particular component. And syllabus is this. So mostly mathematical reasoning is asked and logical reasoning, some questions, some data analysis is also asked. I'll give an example of a question. So even though it is mathematical, it is not directly from the textbook. Okay, you have to apply some concepts to solve the question. I will give an example of this. So this was a part A question asked once. You can see that which of the following is the largest number: 2 raised to 50, 3 raised to 40, 4 raised to 30, 5 raised to 20. Now this is, you know, the law of indices, but this is not from your text. Okay, so you have to use some reasoning. So the reasoning in such type of question is either you make the basis same or the indices same. So here you can make the indices same because you see the powers are multiples of 10. Okay, so you can write 2 raised to 50 as 2 raised to 5 raised to 10. So it will be 32 raised to 10. Similarly, 3 raised to 40 will be 3 raised to 4 raised to 10. That will be 81 raised to 10. And 4 cube raised to 10 will be 64 raised to 10. And 5 square raised to 10 will be 25 raised to 10. So you see that 3 raised to 40 is the right answer. Okay. So it is just this type of questions which are asked in exam. So they are not, they are your 10th standard mathematics, up till your 10th standard mathematics. But you will need some type of reasoning. And the best way to solve or know these questions is solve the previous year's papers. Okay. I think this particular thing came in 2013 or 14, and as NET exam is held twice a year, you have plenty of questions, 20 questions per year, twice a year. So and it is divided into 2 parts. Means chemistry will occur in the evening and physics paper will be in the morning. So that it is also in the chemistry paper. These are, it is common for all. So you will get that also papers you can solve. If you solve these papers, you will know what is the type of questions will come in, and you can be better prepared to solve this type of questions. Later, I will tell you why this part A question solving is important. Okay, after we go for part B and part C. Part B is from your core topics. So these are core topics. So that is not applied subjects. So mathematical methods, classical mechanics, electromagnetic theory, quantum mechanics, thermodynamics and statistical physics, and electronics and experimental methods. And here also you have an option. You can answer any 20 out of 25 questions. And each question will carry 3.5 marks. The total marks will become 70. So 13 part A and 17 part B. So you will get 100 marks in part A and part B. Okay. And this will be physics questions based on this topic. Now part C. Part C will have, you will have a choice of attempting any 20 out of 30 questions. 5 marks for each question. So this is a very important session having total 100 marks. The syllabus is, you have the syllabus in part B, which was your physics subject, 4 topics, as well as some advanced topics. So syllabus, if you see the syllabus, you can get the syllabus on the net website. If you see the syllabus, you will see that some advanced topic from part B subject like classical mechanics and all also given. Okay, and you have atomic and molecular physics, condensed matter physics, and nuclear physics along with it. And here the questions are higher order questions based on advanced topics. And higher order questions means what? Let me give an example. I have not put it on the slide, but I will just tell you the example orally. They had put a Hamiltonian, a 2x2 matrix Hamiltonian they have given, and they had asked for the partition function. Now, normally partition function requires the energy value, and Hamiltonian is basically a quantum mechanics problem. So they had related Hamiltonian, but if you see that partition function is nothing, if you know the formula of partition function, it is nothing but summation of e raised to minus beta epsilon, where epsilon I are the eigenvalues. So you can find out the eigenvalues of the Hamiltonian, and finding eigenvalues of the Hamiltonian is a common problem done in MS. Okay, so that you can do, you can find out the eigenvalues and you can substitute the eigenvalues in the partition function and you can obtain the partition. So it was such a simple question, but you will get frightened on seeing the Hamiltonian matrix, and then you have to find out the partition function. So these like higher order questions which require some thinking. Okay, so my advice to you is don't rush through the questions and see. Now part A, if you see part A, it carries 30% weightage. And if you do the particular topics of part A, which is usually a 10 standard syllabus, okay, it is almost 1/10 of the thing, more than 1/10. Okay, and that is why it is advisable to do part A. But part A problems are such problems where you will waste your time because you know that particular problem, but something you get stuck up or you try to solve it more and more. So as you are doing time management, I will advise you to go to part C, solve part C questions first, and then go to part B questions, and then go to part A questions. Now there is certain particular time management technique in this also. When you are solving part C questions, if you think that you do not know question, you immediately cross it. Read it carefully, but first you immediately cross it if you don't know anything about it. Okay, but if you know something about it, then you can go on solving it, and if it is solved, it is okay. But if you find that you are wasting some time on it, just circle that question and go on. So those which you have solved, you should take. Those you have wasting some time and you said you will do it later, you just circle them, and those which you don't know, you just cross them. So when you go to the end of the paper, and mind you, the paper is jumbled, means A, B, C, D patterns are there. So the topic where you are important means where you are strong can be in the end. So that is why you will need those questions in there. So that is why it is advisable not to waste questions in some things which do not come, the answers do not come, and go ahead, just circle those questions and then you can return to them. And after you return, then see the circled ones. And if you finish with the circled ones, then see the cross ones and just try to gain more and more marks. Okay, so this is a required strategy. Okay, and one more strategy is if you don't know the formulas, you cannot solve it. Okay, so if you don't know the formulas, you cannot solve. So that is why make a formula book. You can you can make 100 pages notebook and divide those 100 pages into 10 pages each, and 10 page for classical mechanics, 10 place for mathematical methods, and you can write the formulas in those books. Make only one book and all the formulas in that book, and you just before the exam or 1 or 2 days or 1 week for the exam, you revise all the formulas only. Because if you don't know the formulas, then you cannot do anything in the exam. Okay. So that is about NET exam. Now let us go to the other exam. GATE exam is the next popular exam which you can give after MSc. You can do research fellowship. You will get a research fellowship at IIT and ISC. Sometimes it is also used for employment purposes, like in BRC scientific officer or ON and all this. You can gain employment also by using this GATE exam. If you pass this, qualify this GATE. This is also a computer-based online exam. And for practice, you can visit any GATE. GATE exam is normally held by a particular GATE IIT. Okay, I think this time it was IIT Madras. So it goes on. So if you visit that particular website, you can have a mock test for GATE exam also. Okay, mock tests are important for computer-based exams. Okay? Because there is a different scheme where you have to make the button blues. So there are buttons on this which you have to make blue. If you have to attempt to take, you have to mark, save and mark, and all those things are there. So you will get confidence when you solve such mock test exams. Okay. Then what is the paper pattern of the GATE exam? GATE exam will be generally MCQs carrying 1 or 2 marks. Here also 4 alternatives are there, and only one of the alternative is correct. But a negative marking is more. Negative marking in GATE is more. It is 1/3 of the weightage. So in NET you have 25%. Here you have 1/3 of the weightage. That is 1/4 was in NET. Here you have 1/3 of the weightage negative marking for the wrong answer. Now, give there are one more type of questions which are numerical answer type questions. Okay, so these are to do away with guessing. Okay? So people usually guess, and that is ABC is there the case. So that is why this new thing has been introduced by GATE to eliminate guessing. Numerical aptitude question type answer type question also carrying 1 or 2 marks. I will give an example. This is not a physics example, but I will give you an example of how the computer checks the paper. The value of square root of 2 up to 3 decimal places. Everyone knows the answer is 1.414, but the computer, they feed it in the computer that there is some percentage error that can be allowed. So any answer from 1.411 to 1.417 is correct. So that will be given in the, because what happens is whenever you are finding a numerical value in a physics problem, you will find something, then you will find something else. Using that value, you will find something else. So there is something like truncation error. So so that students can make. So that is why to avoid that truncation error, there is a range in which the answer is correct. Okay, and there is no negative marking for a wrong answer in a numerical aptitude, numeric answer type. Now the GATE exam also have a general aptitude paper where 15 marks are given to the general aptitude. 5 questions carrying 1 mark each, and 5 questions carrying 2 marks each. So total 15. What they ask in the general aptitude, verbal ability is there. So you will have English grammar, sentence completion, and all those things. So you will have verbal ability questions also. And numerical ability questions are similar to the NET exam, where they ask numerical computations and all those things, and data interpretation. Okay, so 15 questions, 15 marks will be for the general aptitude. Then 85 questions, 85 marks will be for questions on physics, and they will be also divided into 2 parts. There will be 25 1-mark questions, and some of these may be numerical answer type questions. Then 30 questions carrying 2 marks each, so total 60 marks, and some of these may be numerical answer type questions. Gate papers are also available. Lot of gate papers are available. You can practice the gate papers, and that is what my thing is. That people, what students usually do is they say that first we'll do theory and then they will solve the question. It is a wrong approach because theory takes much time. Okay, and some of the theory you must have already studied. That mathematical method has been done in your first sem, and all in the first year you must have studied most of the theory. So I will advise you to directly go to the GATE previous year's question papers of GATE and CSR. Practice those question papers in the topics of the theory which is already over. So don't do the theory, directly do the question. Okay, and then you can go to the theory. Then you will have a knowledge of what type is asked and how questions are asked and how to think logically based on this question. In this particular workshop also will tell you how to particularly solve the question. Okay. Then set exam. This is only for lecturership, and you mostly you get lecturership only in the state. That is, if you do Maharashtra set exam, mostly lecturer in colleges of Maharashtra and college universities of Maharashtra, you will get you can get interview call in those particular things, and if you are selected, you will get the job. Set exam is total 200 marks, and now the duration is 3 hours. There are 2 separate sections, but they are held on the in the same span of 3 hours. So first it is 1 hour paper 1, and then 2 hours paper 2. And this is also a multiple choice question with only one option. 4 options are given and 1 is correct. But here all questions are compulsory. In GATE also all questions are compulsory. Okay, so only NET has choice of question, but GATE and SET, all other exams, all questions are compulsory. And there will be no negative marking. So negative marking is not there. So that is an advantage. So there will be no negative marking in SET. But the qualification is very higher because you have to gain 50% if you want to qualify in both the papers. And then total also you have to gain to qualify for. Now, paper 1 is related to teaching and research aptitude, reasoning ability, comprehension, and also there is a general awareness component also. Okay, so there general awareness is also asked. And teaching and research aptitude questions are such questions where you think that all the 4 choices are correct, but you have to mark that choice in which is the most you feel is correct. Then paper 1 has 50 questions of 2 marks each, total is 100 marks and duration is 1. Then you have paper 2. Paper 2 will be completely based on physics of 2 marks each and total 200 marks and duration 2. So even though the papers are different, you will get paper 1 and after 1 hour you have to submit paper 1 and immediately you will get paper 2. You have to solve paper 2. So there is no break in. Okay. JEST exam. JEST exam. Now the JEST exam and the further exam, TFR exam, they change their patterns. They don't keep their patterns. Okay, so they are known to change their patterns. And these particular exams are have more challenging questions than the previous year's exams. Okay, they are given for research fellowship at IISER and other institutes. Aries also gives. If you give just exam, going to Aries also. Total marks are 100 and duration is 3 hours. All exam duration is 3 hours. Just generally does not focus on applied components like nuclear physics, atomic and molecular. Or in condensed matter. Its syllabus is only core topics like mathematical methods, classical mechanics, electromagnetic. Only core topics. The pattern of exam is simple. It is completely physics, no aptitude, nothing. Part A is 25 questions, each carry 1 mark, that is 25 marks. Part B 15 MCQs, each carry 3 marks. So these are higher level MCQs questions. And to do away with those markings things, here also there is a 33.33%, 1/3 point negative marking in part A and part B. And part C, there is no negative marking. So there they have, instead of numerical answer type questions, they have questions which have, they will put questions which have 4-digit integer answers. So if your answer is 5, then you should write it in 4 digits as 00005. Okay. So that is why they are eliminating the particular option criteria, that is guessing. Okay. And carry 3 marks, and there will be no negative marks for this. Okay. Then we come to this last exam, TFR exam. There are 2 sections in this exam, and this is also completely physics-based exam, no aptitude, nothing. Marks is 150 and duration is 3 hours. Section A, you will have 25 questions of 3 marks each and 33.33% negative marking. So you will lose 1 mark for the wrong answer. And total will be 75 marks. Okay. And section B, 15 questions of 5 marks. There will be no negative marking this, and total is 75 marks. So if you see the number of questions in TFR, it is 40 questions which you have to solve in 3 hours. And if you see in the previous exam, it is more than 40, 50, 60 questions are there. This is 50 questions. And if you go to NET and all, it is more than 50 questions. So that is why the level of TFR questions is very high. So you have to, but it's okay because you get more time to solve the particular. So that's it in my presentation. Thank you very much for listening to. Okay.
Thank you, sir, for your guidance. Now, shall we take a break of 5 minutes?